Okie doke. First proper, real and true YouTube Live. Good evening. I know I do not have anybody and may not get anybody, and that's totally cool. I'm getting through getting into the flow of it, getting back to it. And I believe I can set it so that my videos, even if nobody's with me when I am live, I believe I can archive it. And I believe archiving it means it's available later, because that was a big thing during the pandemic, was people weren't necessarily available during the live, but could watch it later. But I'm in here now. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. We're doing the thing. And I think it'll be a good thing. I think it'll be a good connection. So a little bit about me before we get to it. I assume anyone who would possibly find their way into my YouTube channel already knows exactly who I am. But my name is Nori. I am profoundly motivated by glitter. I'm a very big glitter enthusiast. I am the glitter addict. I have been glittering shoes for the Crew of Muses parade since 2010. I glittered in 2010 for the first time for the 2011 season. The calendar is always a bit peculiar for muses because, and for everybody who does throws, because you are making throws in, like right now it's 2024 and I'm making shoes for 2025. So I started in 2010 making shoes for 2011, and I made shoes 2012 to like 2014. I really got absolutely nuts. I really went crazy with it. I really started to lean into the art form, if I may. And let me plug my glue gun in so that my glue gun can heat up. So 2011, 2010, 2011, I kind of broke into it. 2012, I started going bananas. But the thing about my story is there are a lot of moments in my story where you think I've gone absolutely insane, and I have not even gone as insane as I'm going to go. So in 2016, I ride in the parade for the first time. I ride as a substitute. For people who don't know, there are riding members of the Crew of Muses, and there are people who get to take the spots on years when the Muses take a year off. So you have to ride at least every other year. You can't take 2 years off as a row, 2 years off in a row. So they have sub-riders, people who are friends with people who are on that float, or sisters, or friends, family, that sort of thing. So I rode as a sub in 2016 for the first time, and then let me get the timeline right. I started in the sort of bananas 2012, 2013, 2014 phase is when I had a blog. And the blog was Confessions of a Glitter Addict. And blog is a strong word for it. I was doing digital, it was a digital notebook. It was a spot where I could keep my notes, because I would pick up a shoe and I would glitter it and then not really remember exactly what I was doing or what color I'd used. And so I started keeping my notes in a little online journal, and then people found the blog and started talking to me about shoes, and somewhere along the way it blew up a little bit. It's a very strange little niche, glitter shoes. So when I say blow up or got popular, I'm talking about my precious little niche. And someone said, hey, do you teach classes? Do you teach people how to glitter shoes? And I was like, I never have, but I don't see why not. And so I started doing that. And sometime after my 2016 ride, in the 2017, 2018, I'm looking to see if I have a Crew to Glue jar that has, on the Crew to Glue logo, it says established 2017, or I think 2017, maybe 2016. Somewhere in the 2016, 2017 range, I started selling glitter because there were things that I couldn't find that I personally wanted. So I started going down the rabbit hole. And with craft supplies, it's always a little bit more cost effective is a strange word. So if you buy a pound of something, if you buy an ounce of something, it's one price. But then if you buy 10 pounds, it's less per ounce. But then you have 10 pounds of it. But that's neither here nor there. We're not gonna unravel. We're not gonna get too deep into that, the semantics of that. But there were things that I wanted and other people wanted them as well. One of the first things, the very first glitters I ever made was whiteout, which was a metallic high cover white. And that was a whole thing for a long while. And I made I think the very, very first kit I put together with like instructions and I formulated all the components of it was the Galaxy kit. And I still have, if y'all want to see something, this, and I kept it because it was special to me. This was a piece of cardboard that I did the first test run of the Galaxy kit, how to make the Galaxy effect. So I kept that forever and ever. So this is now older than my youngest son. So that was Cruda Glue, and I did that for a minute. And then the universe, we crossed paths. The platonic love of my life, Lizette, who is my co-owner over at NOLA Craft Culture, NCC as I'll sometimes call it. So she had this amazing vision for a space where people could work and swap tips and like where there would be like that sharing and that community and that you could craft in a group. And she had this amazing vision for that. And she had a little journal like full of all her dreams for what this would be. And I had been doing classes and I was kind of selling glitter a little bit. It was very small scale. It was very, out of my bedroom kind of thing. And not my bedroom. I didn't have glitter in my bedroom, but like out of my, kind of just out of my home. And I was doing glitter workshops at my dad's out in Lakeview. My stepdad lives in Lakeview. And so I would put out folding tables and have glitter workshops like in his driveway. And sometimes I used the neighbor's driveway. And then when we were remodeling our house, there was a like month window where I could do anything I wanted in the house because it was going to get remodeled. So I had like 2 workshops a day every weekend. Like it was nuts. Nuts in a fun way. So I was doing workshops and then we opened NOLA Craft Culture, and NOLA Craft Culture will be 6 years old in January. So we opened Craft Culture in 2019. We'll be 6 years old in January. So you can do the math. And it has been an amazing ride. Craft Culture was found in a really cool place, a really good community. And at that time I was on Instagram a lot. That was kind of the platform that I was most comfortable with. I would sort of share a picture and that would be it. And the great thing about Craft Culture was if people had questions, like they could physically come into the store and talk to me. If people wanted a workshop, they could physically come into the store and we could do a workshop in the community craft space. And it was amazing. And it was everything we dreamed of. And then lockdown happened, COVID and the coronavirus and quarantine, and which is a crazy thing to get a craft store through to navigate a pandemic when you have a glitter store. Which, not an essential service by any stretch of the imagination. So what we did is we figured it out. Lizette had the absolute brilliant notion that we had a window downstairs at Craft Culture and we could open that. People could order stuff and we could open the window and hand them their orders through the window. So we started making kits and I started doing videos explaining those kits just to stay connected to people, just so that I was still teaching people, sharing with people, getting people to glitter. And so we did that the whole time. We had kits, we had videos, and I would do a live during COVID. I would do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So 3 hours a week I was making videos about just whatever I was working on. And it was a little chaotic. It was kind of disorganized. Whatever I felt like working on is what I was working on. And we had like a series of glitters that I would introduce and I would have like some themes and stuff, but mostly it was just me in a room with my phone making whatever struck my fancy. So that was awesome. And I loved that, but I was in that capacity representing Craft Culture. So I was representing the business. So I didn't want to be like saying out, like, I didn't want to be just saying things that might or might not be appropriate as representative of the shop. I don't have any particularly, I don't think, scandalous views, but it was pressure is the wrong word, but I felt a responsibility to represent craft. I was on the craft culture Facebook page. I wanted to represent craft culture in a way that was appropriate and respectful and context appropriate. So I created a Facebook group called Majoring in Glitterology, because I hold a PhD in biomedical materials engineering, and we used to joke that like I was now teaching glitterology, and like you were majoring in glitterology if you were taking a bunch of classes with me or learning a bunch from me. So I made a Facebook group called Majoring in Glitterology, and at the time in my mind I was like, this is where I will just let loose. This is where I can be me. I can have a drink. I can, not that I didn't drink on the craft culture Facebook page. It's New Orleans. But, this is where I can be exactly who I feel like being in the moment. And the NOLA Craft Culture Lives, happened in the morning. It was usually about 10 o'clock in the morning. I would get on there. And majoring in glitterology, I would kind of get in here in the evening and kind of do whatever I felt like doing. And I wasn't as worried. I know that I'm still, I should still strive to be appropriate, but if I was a little tipsy or I was saying something a little bit wacky, I wasn't as worried. Then majoring in glitterology took off. It got so huge. And now to phenomenal women admin majoring in glitterology, to very, very dear friends of mine, sort of take care of the approvals and everything and the running of it, which they are sensational, and I love them more than my luggage. But majoring in glitterology now has, I want to say, like 5,000 people in it. And I'm not a betting woman, but I would put good money on most of those people having no idea who I am. So now that majoring in glitterology is like 5,000 people, and it's a wonderful space. If you're not in majoring in glitterology and you love glitter, I sincerely recommend it. But majoring in glitterology is now, it's not me. It's not the Nori show. There's the discussion to be had about the need for a Nori show, but I do like to share what I'm working on. And so that's no longer the space for me to share what I'm working on. And it's certainly no longer the space for me to share what I'm working on in a more loosened up, less, what's the word? In a less formal context. So majoring in glitterology is awesome. People share stuff, they talk about stuff, and I love majoring in glitterology. It's a really great space to be in. So definitely check out majoring in glitterology if you don't already know about it. So I can't, that is no longer the space for me to do wacky late night lives. I love what it's become, but it's also not the right space. And so I'm faced with the dilemma of what is the next thing for me? I feel like I've gone from platform to platform. Like I went from my blog to in-person workshops, just kind of popping up wherever. I went from in-person workshops to craft culture in-person workshops to lives on Facebook for the craft culture page to lives in majoring in glitterology. And throughout all of this, I've been doing Instagram as well. But then majoring in glitterology blossomed into this absolutely beautiful, amazing thing that is no longer what I set out for it to be, but that's totally, things grow and change and evolve, and I think that's really cool. So now I'm trying this out. So I think my hope is that I can kind of get that same level of community because, or COVID was a strange time, so I don't think it'll be the same as that, but I do like the feeling of making videos. I do like the feeling of working on stuff with company, even if the company isn't physically in person with me. I like the idea of making stuff and sharing stuff and there being a little bit of back and forth, and it's not just being me alone in my craft room, just puttering away. I love glittering, and glittering alone is better than not glittering, but I like to glitter with people, and I like to share, and I like to talk, and I think it would be kind of cool. So I'm hoping it works out. I'm hoping that it is a space that is useful for people who encounter it. I'm hoping that it's a space that is I think it'll be useful for me, especially we're coming into a pretty big, long carnival season. So I think it'll be good for me to have kind of like a framework in which to motivate myself, because I'm sure y'all have been there, that at the end of the day, it's been a long day and you don't necessarily feel like doing anything. So I think that was the thing about the lives, was once I put them on the schedule, I felt like I was gonna do them. So I hope it gives me a little bit of that accountability. I should probably mention, y'all will have to bear with me on this. I have had an absolutely bonkers October, and I'm gonna start glittering, I think. And I can talk while I glitter. I probably could have been glittering that whole time, but focus is not always my strong suit. So I wanted to give a little bit of a sense for anyone who doesn't know, though, again, I imagine anyone who's in here knows exactly who I am and like what my kids are named and like what my favorite color is. But if you don't, welcome. And I guess I do not need sunglasses at night. So I guess let's get started glittering. What I am working on at the moment, and I feel this is like prescription strength anti-anxiety medication. I'm trying to get a bunch of shoes done. And sometimes when I'm just trying to kind of like, when the jar is stuck and you're just trying to unstick the jar, I like to just make a bunch of purple, green, and gold shoes and a bunch of king cake shoes. That for me is a good, like, I compare it to like if you're staring at a blank page and you have to start writing, it's really hard to get started. This for me gets me started. So I've been working on some purple, green, and gold shoes. Nothing too excessive, but also very lovely. So this, I'm brushing off the glitter to get the confetti out. Oh, and I also have a gooseneck to do like overhead stuff for when I'm working on transfers or when I'm working on detail stuff or like clay stuff. I don't have that set up at the moment, but that'll come later. I'm working on it. I did a massive overhaul of my craft room, so like it's ongoing. And as I'm doing it, I'm like figuring out things I need. All right. So I'm brushing the glitter off of this. That looks good. I tell people, and I'm just going to, I'm going to assume that we have all types of people because that is usually the way the glittering community goes. Anytime you switch colors, you need to let it completely dry. And the reason is like, you can probably see there's a bunch of green glitter in there. But because the purple was dry before I added the green, it'll all brush out. All right. And that is... So I had a bonkers October. I say I had, like I don't still have an enormous... I still have 3 pretty big events in October. 4 if you count trick-or-treating, if you count my kids' costumes. And we really should because... they are my most important, and in some ways my least forgiving audience. So I got to do the costumes for the boys. I've got a workshop this weekend. I've got a float party this weekend. And I've got a pop-up event on Friday. But I had like 2 mask buffets. I say Craft Culture did. I don't do it all. We have an amazing team at Craft Culture, and Lizette is an angel sent straight from heaven. But we had 2 pretty big mask buffets over 100 people. We had multiple shoe parties. We had the pumpkin patch, of course, so we were glittering pumpkins like mad women, mad people. We are not all women at Craft Culture. So it's been pretty intense, and whenever I do a lot of glittering, my wrist gets a little twingy, so I do the carpal tunnel brace, and I'm usually pretty... I play pretty fast and loose with the meat bag that is my body. I definitely put it through, some things that maybe are not wise. But I'm a working artist, so I want to keep my hands in the mix. So anytime I'm working and doing a lot of glittering and my wrist starts to feel a little pinchy, twangy, like maybe it's not loving all we're doing, I break out the carpal tunnel brace. When we opened Craft Culture, I made so many transfers in the first month that we were open that was when I first... She's 6 years old, like Craft Culture. My carpal tunnel measures and Craft Culture are coincidentally the same age. All right, so I'm brushing her. She's beautiful and done. She's got a purple coat. She's got a green coat. She's got a gold coat. She's ready for trim. So I'm going to set her aside and trim her maybe this evening. All right, she is also done, but I need pink, and I don't have the pink that I want. So I'm going to brush her, but she's going to sit until tomorrow. But her purple, green, and gold is done. And y'all can maybe see whenever I'm doing a big batch like this, I use confetti to track where I am. And by that, I mean, I only layer confetti into my top coat. So if you're somebody who uses confetti, you're sort of familiar with that. If you're not, I always do 2 coats on my shoes. I always do 2 coats on everything, on masks, on shoes, on Clio cups. Oh, and we'll work on Clio cups a bit in here as well. That'll be good. Not necessarily this evening. This evening, I'm just kind of trying to break the seal. And when I do 2 coats, the first coat is just plain ultra fine or extra fine. And honestly, what I do on my first coat is I have a jar of Especial. Especial is what we call it when the glitter gets a little bit mixed in with other glitter, or like a little bit, I hate to use the word contaminated because I've been told that the word contaminated is a little bit dramatic. But when I have glitter that is a little bit contaminated, I save that and I do clean, high quality glitter on my top coat, on my second coat. So that's just a way to not be wasteful. That's a way to save money. And that way, even if your glitter isn't perfectly squeaky clean, you can still use it. That's also, this is less of an issue for me now, but some of y'all might still be working through, or that is a judgment about your glitter stashing that I do not intend to make. But some of y'all might have some glitter in your stash that maybe is not as high quality as Craft Culture, that maybe isn't your favorite glitter. You know, you can use the lower quality glitter on your first coat because it's going to get covered up. So that's my advice for saving some money. So when I go through, I do my first coat. So you can see this has a first coat of purple. This was a shoe that had like a big old T-strap in the front, and I snipped that, and I'm just going to put something on there. So this has its first coat of purple already on there. And it's a little bit, you know, it's not squeaky clean. You can see the little bits. You can see that I used a Especial that had a little bit of contamination in it. And I know that it's my first coat because it doesn't have confetti in it. This, where is she? All right. So this is a second coat. And I know it's my second coat because it's got the confetti layered in. Ah, that's so pretty. I love confetti in purple, green, and gold. So that way I can look at this and know automatically. And if I'm doing a big batch all in one color, or all in a solid color palette, that helps me out. I say, all right, this one still needs another coat. It helps me streamline my process and be efficient. I like to do kind of small batches of like maybe 4 or 5 or 6, kind of all in the same color scheme. These purple, green, and gold shoes, I've been organizing my craft room and I like rounded everything up, and every time I found an unfinished purple, green, and gold shoe, I put it in the pile. So I have got, all right. So this is my jar. We sell these big jars at Craft Culture. We have the regular 2-ounce jars, of course, but I have my big old jars. And this is a very contaminated. This has a bunch of confetti and stuff in it. So what I'll do on this one, now that the green is dry, I just had my brush. Where did I put it? Oh, welcome to Barnes & No. Where did it go? Oh, I don't know if y'all have seen those TikToks. All right. So I'm going to brush off the green glitter. So satisfying. The green glitter pops out. All the loose green glitter is coming off, and you can see the confetti. So this side has not been brushed as much. So we get all the loose glitter off the confetti, and that is beautiful. Gotta relax my shoulders. All righty. So everywhere the glitter is not stuck down, I want to brush it off because it's going to come off in your hands. It might as well come off. Yeah. All right. She also needs some Pants Off, Dance Off pink, so I'm going to hold off on finishing her. But I do just want to show y'all. All right, I'm going to set my 2 pink girls over here. Doop-a-doo. This now, the green glitter that I brushed off, it has a little bit of the purple glitter that was right next to the green, and it has some chunky bits. So this goes into my green especial. And when I'm working in a big batch, I would brush all the greens at once and then have like, you know, like half an ounce to put in there. I do need to strain this, and I'm not sure where my strainer is, but I will find it and show you how I strain at some point. All right, so that is my green base coat, my green especial. And so I would put that on the base coat and only use my clean, good, nice quality glitter on the top coat. So this one has gotten a coat of a first coat of purple. I've got a big old, I save these big yogurt containers. That's what I put my Mod Podge and Aleene's in. Very pretty. So this has gotten a first coat. So now I'm going to give it a second coat. And when I'm doing second coats, I keep my edges nice and clean. There it goes. I would kind of lightly tap it on the edge. Just spread my Mod Podge all over it. And because this is a top coat, it'll get confetti, and that way I'll be able to glance at it and say, all right, she's done. She has 2 coats. So all my purple, green, and gold shoes, they get all 3 colors, at least all 3 colors. You saw some that had purple, green, and gold and a little hot pink. And sometimes I mix a little silver in. I like to do purple, green, and gold with a little silver, especially this year, because it is the silver anniversary. It is the 25th anniversary of Muses, which is the silver anniversary. And my sister and I are both riding, which will be so fun. All right. Getting a nice clean edge on that. Here we go. All right. And if I have to do a touch-up, I have to do a touch-up. I'm not gonna stress over that. Okay. Getting a nice clean edge there. Okay. And the first coat I really slap on there. I go pretty fast. The second coat, I'm a little bit more meticulous, especially in the comfort of my own craft room. You can see I've got a bunch of shoes in the works behind me. I've got hundreds of shoes in the works. I do a lot of shoes, but I also, you know, I pick stuff up and I put it down. Your throws are supposed to be fun. There are enough hard and fast deadlines in the world. You don't have to stress about your carnival deadlines, because it's nice to ride with your full 30 shoes, but if you don't, you know, you can still enjoy your ride. All right, so that's got a coat of white glue. I am going to give this a pinch of my Mardi Gras Mambo dots. And I have that in a big jar. It comes in a little jar, but I use a lot of it. And so when I reorganized my craft room, I like rounded them all up and married all the ketchups, because I use a ton of Mardi Gras Mambo. It's very versatile. I also had this huge tub of just kind of a mix of purple, green, and gold. Like I saved all the little bits from different confetti jars that were purple, green, and gold. But we did so many shoe workshops this month that I went through like 8 ounces of confetti, which is crazy town banana pants. All right, so I got my nice sprinkle of confetti. So if you are unfamiliar with the confetti technique, the way it works is you're layering multiple things into the same coat of glue. So I've got my confetti all over the shoe there. Nice heavy sprinkle. Hopefully the lighting's okay. Oop. The sound of me turning on a dehydrator with my knee. All right. So now I'm going to fill in with Purple Prince. And by fill in, I mean I'm just going to pour that glitter right on top of the wet glue. And it's going to fill in all the space between all the little dots of confetti. And it's going to look a little bit fuzzy for a while. Purple Prince is very beautiful. So yeah, you can't really see the confetti, but when I brush it, it'll pop back out. And when I say when I brush it, I mean after it has dried off. If you brush a shoe too soon and it is wet, it's going to get a bunch of glue in your paintbrush, and that is sad. Those paintbrushes are very cheap, but still. All right, let me get it everywhere that I want it to be. Do I have... I might have to go digging in my trim bin, but that's okay. Nobody's bothered by that. All right. Let me set her aside. And there, you know, there might be a piece or two of confetti that wandered into this, but I'm not super worried about it. Especially the nice thing about doing a great big batch is if I get a little bit of purple, green, and gold confetti into my purple glitter, I'm just going to make another 4 or 5 shoes that are the same, so it's not going to look weird. If you were alternating between a bunch of different designs, you're keeping your glitter clean is a little bit trickier. All right. So the confetti is not really visible at this point, but it will be when it dries. So I'm going to set her down. Oh, I did this shoe and I do not like her colors. I was trying to do like a vintage Mardi Gras palette. Like I was trying to do like purple, but like understated. And I love the purple. The purple I think looks gorgeous. If you're just looking at just the purple looks gorgeous. But I don't really love the green and I don't really love the gold. So I'm just gonna not mess with her for a minute. I'm trying not to say swear words because I'm new to YouTube. I feel like YouTube has rules about the swear words. Though the rules about the swear words, I'm basing this off of like listening to actual like YouTubers. They're like, oh, you can't say that or you'll get demonetized. And that is not a concern for me. I am not ever going to be. All right. Okie doke. So who's next? All right. This is another one where I finished the gold and I finished the green, and I can tell that they're finished because there is confetti in the coat. The purple is not done, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a second coat. And by a little bit of a second coat, I mean exactly 1 second coat. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Ooh, feels good to glitter. All right, nice clean edge. And I do trim every single shoe I do because no matter how clean the edge is, it's never quite clean enough for my liking. So I like to put a little confetti. I like to just, you know, hide my sins, which is also a dramatic word. I'm going to talk about glitter like it's very, very, very dramatic, but that's, you know. I love glittering shoes and I do take it seriously because it brings me joy to go crazy on them. But always remember that your throws are gifts and they are for fun. And so sometimes a little bit of stress over a project kind of feels good to like I posted a reel on, I shared a reel on Instagram that was like, if I meet a woman with anxiety, I know she's a crafter. And like, ooh, I feel seen. It can feel good to channel your perfectionism into something low stakes because there are so many things that I want to get perfect that I'm not going to get perfect. Like, you know, raising my children. I'm going to do my best, but like, so it's nice to spend some time going, oh my goodness, I want to get this exactly right when I'm talking about something low stakes. Because I know that if I don't get it perfect, somebody on the parade route is going to catch it and love it so much. And that's, you know, big, for me, that's a big piece of that's a lot of the magic of the carnival formula is that it is beautiful and spiritual and generous and inspiring, but also the exchange is fundamentally very low stakes because you are giving a gift to someone, and gifts are not judged in the same way that other things might be. You're not selling something. You don't have a contract with anybody. All right. So I've got my sprinkling of Mardi Gras Mambo dots in there. I love them so much. And I'm going to add my purple prints. And my station has gotten a little messy, but that's okay because it's all purple and it's all going to go into a big old jug of purple especial. And sometimes I give them cute names. Like I have a Spécial Rouge and I have a Spécial Noir, a Spécial. I give them different names because I think I'm funny. All right. Once again, you cannot see the confetti, but once I brush it, it'll pop right back out and be gorgeosity. All right. So she's drying and she's drying. I'm waiting on Pink to do her. What's your deal? What's your situation? Oh, see, this is, I have violated my own rule. This, I mentioned that I keep a jar of Especial for a particular color, and that's my base glitter. That can be a good, y'all maybe don't know that, confetti, sometimes the pieces don't lay flat, so if you give it a little bit of like a rubbing with your hand, that'll get any pieces that are like not stuck. And that'll just give you a flatter, a smoother surface, and just a more consistent coat. All right, so, okay, let's maybe tidy up a little bit. So, sometimes my Especial gets a ton of confetti in it, and I'm lazy and I don't filter out my confetti, such as this evening where I'm not 100% sure where my filter is. We sell these at Craft Culture. They're little rings. They're little metal rings that have a little bowl that has mesh in it. And they are for draining sinks. They're sink drains. And it's exactly the right size to fit in a jar and filter your glitter. And that makes a huge difference. But if I don't do it, I get a ton of confetti in my base coat, and then I'm like confused. I'm like, she's not really pretty and she's not really clean. Oh, I know what happened. My base coat got a little confetti in there accidentally. So, not the end of the world, but I have only made trouble for myself, but I should maybe be nicer to myself and do the least, instead of doing the laziest possible thing, I should maybe do the system that actually works, but work in progress. All right, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. So at this point, I have purple, green, and gold and confetti on here. So I have a jar of purple, green, and gold Especial that I use sometimes. One-handed. These are the skills. All right. Oh, this paper, I'm ready to change this paper too. It's very schmutzed up. I forgot what it feels like to glitter with some witnesses. It's a different experience because I can get away with very lazy corner cutting if it's just me. But that's good. We all need accountability buddies. All right. So this purple has a little bit of confetti in it, but I know for a fact, maybe not for a fact, but I know that what happened there was my base coat got a little confetti in it. That's why we try to not contaminate if we can avoid it. And it's not a big problem. It doesn't look bad, and I'm going to cover it up, but I should be better about filtering. All right, nice clean edge. I love this shoe. It's got such a nice big surface. I'm going to do some really pretty stuff on it. I don't know what the stuff is exactly, but I love a wedge because it gives you so much real estate to work with. So I'm going to put a cute. I recently did a bunch of Orpheus tambourines for a friend of my stepdad's. And oh my goodness, it was so different from doing shoes because you just have this big surface to put a bunch of transfers on, and that was really cool. I was really into that. I mean, the shoe is my first love, and shoe love is true love, but it was really fun to make tambourines because I liked having the real estate. Same thing with the gals who are in Phoenix. They get to do the platters, and that's a really nice canvas to work on. All right, I'm getting my glue. My glue, as always, is about 50-50 Mod Podge and Aleene's. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Ooh. Nothing better. Nothing better than a little late night glittering. I am hearing from a lot of people that they're like, oh, I gotta get started. I gotta get going. And it's early for as much. I'm hearing a lot of that, and it's pretty early. So I'm interested what the dynamics are this year. It feels like more people are starting earlier. I do it year round, but I'm in tambourine. Thank you so much. It was really fun to do the tambourines. Thank you. I really loved that. I loved it so much that I'm like, no joke, I reached out to a friend of mine who rides in Muses and Orpheus. I was like, how hard is it to ride in both? I don't think I can manage it. That's a lot. I have a lot of respect for people who can do multiple parades. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if I'm at that place in my life, but it would be so cool to ride in Orpheus and do tambourines. All right, so that's the glue. And I'm sorry, this is kind of the same thing over and over again. This is me. But I guess it's all the same thing over and over again. I guess if I start to, it's all glitter shoes, it's all carnival throws, huh? So nice big pinch. My beautiful purple, green, and gold dots. I love that Mardi Gras Mambo is the dots. I think they're just a tiny little bit more sophisticated than the hex. I might be saying that because it costs more to manufacture them. That might be just, doing the thing where because a brand is more expensive, I think it's more valuable. But I do like the dots. Not all the time, but I like the dots. All right. It's a pretty good sprinkle of dots. Everything's harder to do in the brace, but one thing we are not going to do is play around with having our hands work, so I at least have enough sense to protect my wrists. All right, Purple Prince. There is something really fun. I just bought this jar like yesterday. There's something really fun about a fresh jar. Oh, so pretty. Purple Prince is one of my favorite glitters. I love all my glitters like my children. And different glitters have different vibes. Like I absolutely need all of them. Somebody came to Craft Culture and left a positive review, but he was like, how many shades of gold do you need? And I was like, not only do I need all of the shades of gold that we currently have, like off the top of my head, I could tell you 4 more that I would love to add to the inventory when we have the bandwidth for it. If you've been inside Craft Culture, you have seen like the wall of just golds. We have shelves that have all of our golds on there, and like every single one of them is important. We have a sampler set that includes like 6 different skin tones. And so those are all pretty close. They span a pretty diverse range of skin tones, but they're all pretty close, but they're all slightly different. And we developed the skin tone sampler with the vision that they could be blended. So even amongst those 6, you can still do like infinite blends between them all. All the shades of gold. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Hey, Caitlin. All right. Okie dokes. She looks good. She looks sassy. Let me give her a little tap. Y'all let me know if me banging the shoes on my table is an unpleasant sound for you. I don't know quite yet what the acoustics are like. I need to like watch the video and see. All right. So I'm just, all right. There she blows. I miss you too. All right. Okay. All right. So who's next? All right. That's the one that I'm going to deal with later because I'm not loving her and I'm not feeling like messing with somebody I'm not in love with. Let's see. Who else? You are dry and ready to trim, so I'm going to set you aside. It's fine. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it. Because I used to, when I lived in Memphis, I had a garage that I would glitter in. And when I tell you I smacked the shoes on the floor of the garage to knock all the loose glitter off, that was great. But I can't really do that on a regular. I could do that on a concrete floor. I can't really do that just anywhere. All right, so she's ready to trim. She is drying off. All right, you three girls are drying off. You guys, I'm going to move these so that I don't mix them up. All right, these three gals are going to dry over here. Oh, I'm going to bring you over here. Why do you feel like that? Okay, let's get those ducks in a row, maybe. All right, those four girls are going to dry over there. They're not bothering anyone over there. I had some gold trim, but I don't know where I put it. So that might be a treasure hunt for later. That might be an expedition for another time. But she is ready to trim, so I kind of wanted to find my gold trim. So I don't know, we might dig a little bit, but we still got some stuff to do. All right, another little purple, green, gold boot. On a boot, I don't worry too much about the inside. I try to get it pretty glittered, but I'm also not. It doesn't really show that much. I got a little bit of glue where I do not want it. So I might just let her dry so that I don't accidentally get my edges messed up. All right, I started doing her. She's a little lumpy. I'm trying to I might try to press her lumps out a little bit. When I have a shoe like this that is a little bit smushed, I don't know if y'all can tell that she's a little bit smushed. She's a little bit smushed. What I'm going to do is wet her, like add water to her, not like soaking wet, but like enough to get it damp. I'm trying to not, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I'm going to add some water to this. We're already off the rails. We're not even an hour in. Oh man. The placement of my dehydrator is such that I keep bumping it with my knee. So I'm going to get the shoe wet. I'm going to wet the shoe. In my head, I'm thinking of that thing where it's like when you make pasta, you wet the dries and then you dry the wets and then you wet the dries. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about or if I sound insane. Anyway, I'm going to wet the dries. I'm going to wet the shoe. And then I'm going to stuff it with some plastic bags. Some like, not garbage bags, like grocery bags. And I'm going to stuff the wet shoe with garbage bags. Not garbage bags. Dalai Lama. I'm going to stuff the wet shoe with grocery bags and let it dry. And that usually takes a lot of the smush out of the shoe. That gives it a little bit more shapeliness. And if it doesn't, there are other things I can do with her, and we can talk about those at a later date. She's not bad. Her shape is not bad. But I think she could use just a little bit of reshaping. So I'm going to put her in the not right this minute pile. You are there. I'm waiting for more pink to do you. I want to work on you, but all right, so we have these really beautiful appliques at Crafterville. She's a little loose, aren't we all? Okay. We have these really beautiful, kind of cool, funky sort of like designer modern art appliques at Craft Culture. They're these little M's, and they're like beaded and have these cool like rhinestones and sequins and stuff, and I love them. They just feel super modern art to me. They feel like very art gallery. And I was planning to block this out because it's so art gallery-ish to me. I was going to do like red and blue and yellow. I was going to do the same red as here, and then I was going to do blue on the heel and on the sole, and then I was going to do like this yellow here. And I left this side white because I thought I would do orange, but now I'm thinking I just want it to be red all the way around. So like that is aggravating because I could have done the red all in one go, but you know, you live and learn. I ain't got a time machine. I'm not going to stress about it. All right, so let me get my red glitter, and then where's my gold glitter? Not gold glitter. Where's my gold trim? I was using it when I was working on my mask buffet. I promise that I will be better organized next time. That is such a low bar to clear, but I promise I'll be more organized next time. All right. Because watching me looking for stuff has got to be incredibly thrilling for everybody. Where did I put all that trim? It's all right, babe. I'll find it later. I can see my sweet husband trying desperately to help me. I cannot be helped. I am beyond help. Oh, what's that? That's not the trim I was looking for, but it'll work. I can work with this. I know we can work with this. We can work it out. Ooh. All right, what about a darker blue? Interesting. Oh my God, Caitlin, I have such a funny story for you. As a person who sews and a person who has children, my baby sister, and by baby I mean, you know, grown woman with children, she inherited my mother's ability to make costumes like at a professional level. She's an amazing, amazing seamstress. And she has a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, my little nieces, Audrey and Viv. And she sewed so many adorable costumes for her girls. They're so cute. And she was telling me about them and showing them to me. And I was like, oh my God, so cute, so cute, so cute. And she called me up. She's like, I need you to talk me down because I'm so like upset. We were in the store and she picked out the most like factory made, plasticky, cheap, like, you know, mass manufactured Paw Patrol costume. And like, it doesn't matter that I sewed her a ton of cute stuff. That's what she wants. She wants like the plastic. I was like, oh, I know it's a Canon event, but it's harder because you sew. You'll make such cute stuff for your kids. You'll sew the most beautiful stuff for your kids, but kids don't have good taste yet. That is how it goes. The good taste comes later, and you just gotta let them do what they're gonna do. A darker blue. We actually have a really good dark blue at the shop that I could maybe use. That would be really pretty. I am gonna do red all the way around, and then I'm gonna trim this purple, green, and gold sweet pea here. Oh, I got up to get my red glitter, and I got distracted by finding. All right. This is not. I want the brighter one. My trim is really disorganized, and I need to untangle it. The sweet kid who works at the shop was very frustrated by some very tangled trim, and he's like, "Why did you do this to me?" It's like, I did not do that to you. That just happened. That was just a natural disaster. The trim waits for you to not be looking, and when your back is turned, it just tangles up. All right, I want to do red all the way around on this because I think it'll look more. I just think it'll look right if I do that. I kind of was envisioning doing some orange here, but I think yellow here, red here, red here. I'm going to look at some different blues here. I'm not married to a blue yet. Killer Blueberry Pie would be great because that's dark and holographic. And you can maybe see that I layered a bunch of red confetti into that, which I think is so pretty. All right. Sorry, I keep slamming the shoes down, but I'm trusting y'all that the shoe slamming is okay. Where's my red? Ugh. I feel like I'm like a terrible knockoff version of like one of those children's shows that's like, can you find the red? And it's just you listening to me ask questions that nobody can answer. No, I don't want that. Where's my big red? There's my big red. If it was a snake, it would have bit you, as my great-grandmother used to say. All right, if it was a snake, it would have bit me. So this is kind of a mix of reds. It's a little bit, it's got some, I obviously use a lot of red, as you can tell from this huge, like, gallon. Revisit confetti. Yes! Confetti's great. Confetti adds a lot of richness to the texture, but it does help to see someone do it once because it is kind of, it's a little counterintuitive. When you look at a surface that has confetti on it, it looks like the confetti went on last, but it actually goes big to small. You put your biggest flakes on first, and then I'm going to do black on the interior. Even though it's not really going to show, I'm going to do black on the interior there. All right. And you can see I kind of started base coating this, base painting this, but it probably needs another coat of paint because I didn't do it the right way. And whenever I think I'm going to save myself trouble, I don't. I apologize. If y'all see me look up and like briefly go like, go a little dead behind the eyes, it's because I'm getting a notification on like a work email and I'm glancing at it, trying to do multiple things at once. That is a difference. When I was doing lives at Craft Culture, like nobody would bug me. Not bug me. It is, I'm happy to be. Bug is such a judgmental way of putting that. But everyone at Craft Culture was like, oh, Nori's on a live. Don't ask her. Wait and ask her later. And now, of course, that is not the situation. And small business ownership means you get emails day and night, night and day, which I would not trade it for anything, but it's also the reality of the multitasking. All right, yeah, I do like that. I like the... Nobody saw anything. I do like the red all the way around. And I think with the yellow and some black trim to kind of match the little bit of black that the cool applique has, I think that's going to be really just super foxy. Simple but foxy. All right. Okay. You go there. You go here. So I made a little addition to my craft. We're all forever making small tweaks to our crafting spaces. So now that I am done glittering and I am, oh, no, I'm going to add a coat of red to this one real quick. I'm such a liar. I'm such a liar. All right. This is really pretty. This is Dorothy L'Amour, which is our jet black, but I don't know if y'all can see. The holographic is not, the light is a little diffuse in here. I got to figure out how to get the lighting, so I want to show y'all the holographic when it's very bright. Okay. But this is Dorothy L'Amour with 1mm space balls in there. Yes, I love a nice jet black, but the punch of the confetti really, I do love confetti. I love to do monochrome confetti. I love to like do the same color, like a black confetti with black glitter, or like a red confetti with red glitter. And I also love it when it's high contrast. All right. But I am going to put a little red since I've got the red glitter out. Might as well. Might as well. What day is it? Wednesday? Wednesday. All right. Planning out my week. October has been, it's a lot. It's good to be busy. I would rather be busy than, I'd rather a lot of people book craft culture for events than nobody. But ooh, October has been quite a marathon. November and December will probably be a little more laid back for us. Even though we're retail, so we definitely do like some holiday shopping. We're less, you know, people definitely buy like gift certificates and stuff because a lot of people have glitterers in their lives who want the gift of glitter in their stocking. But it's not quite as nuts for us as some other retailers. And then, of course, January comes and and it's just a madhouse in the best possible way. I am the luckiest duck on the pond. I would trade places with no one. I'm super grateful for everything and everyone who is part of the craft culture community. Very beautiful, very vibrant community. All right. Beautiful inside and out because glitter makes everything pretty. All right. So let's see. I've got an event on Friday. I've got 2 events on Saturday. And then I got to do the trick-or-treating situation, which will be wonderful. My eldest is 10. I don't know how long they think trick-or-treating is cool. I hope forever. No, I'm proud of my kids. They're very mature, capable young men, but I want them to be little forever. It's complicated. I want them to be little forever, and I love them growing up and getting more independent. But I hope we have at least a few more years of trick-or-treating before it's uncool. All right. Okie dokes. Ooh, I love red and black. It's a good combo. It's very dramatic, very theatrical. Y'all know I don't like drama in my life, but I love it in my shoes. That sounds kind of cliche, but it's true. I would like my life to be drama-free and my shoes to be very theatrical. I've given myself kind of a difficult task here. It's kind of hard to hold the shoe and not touch the glue spots, but we're going to do our best. Eee. Yeah, I got overambitious. I always say leave yourself a handle, and I did not leave myself a great handle there. Ah, I got a ton of glitter in my brace. I should bedazzle this is what I should do with all the time that I have. So much bedazzling time. All right. She's very pretty. I'm going to set her down. I'm definitely not going to drop her. I don't know what you think you heard, but it was not me dropping it. All right. Okay, she looks good. I got my 4 purple, green, and gold girls drying. I got 2 purple, green, and gold girls who are done, except they need pink. I've got my modern art blocked out one, my Mondrian. I've got my girl who I'm going to reshape. I've got this girl who I'm going to... Oh, my Rolling Stone shoe. That was a good one. That was a good one. I love that style of putting the little record that could spin. I would love to make some more of those. All right, where's my Especial jar? That one was fun. And that was black and red. And I admit, I stole the color scheme for that. Another muse made a black and red Rolling Stones shoe, and I was like, ooh, I want to do like that. And so I did the logo, but I put the flag. I did the version of the tongue with the flag in it. And my little spinning record. Oh, I loved that shoe. I like for my shoes to be, topical, for them to kind of reflect what's going on. Okay. Hot glue gun. Do I need scissors? Hey, babe. There's some scissors on the dining room table. Would you mind grabbing them for me, my love? You know how I said I didn't need help? I was a liar. Thank you. I will get better organized the more of this I do. Probably. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this shoe. I know that I'm putting a little bit of something right there. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to put something in the front because she's just a good shape for that. So I'm going to put this trim right in the front. This would be a good moment for me to switch to my overhead, but I don't have it set up yet. But I will get it set up because I want y'all to be able to see and not just be sharing. I feel like you're just gonna have to look at this shoe's booty for a minute. It's like when your cat like gets on your chest and puts the butt in your face. It's like, thank you, this is not the prettiest part of you. I would like the pretty part of you, please. I would like your sweet little face. Wednesday night glittering and talking about cat booty. So I am just tracing the edge of this shoe with some purple, with some gold trim. And that covers up the seam and just makes it look film. The Elfi, amazing. My friend Ben is in the Elvi. He had his first ride in Crew of Boo. You probably know Ben. I feel like everyone knows Ben and Tara because they are just social butterflies. I think someone just told me that the Elvi were co-ed now. I think that's awesome. I lived in Memphis for several years. I'm born and raised New Orleans, but I was in Memphis for like 4 or 5 years working at St. Jude's. So we love Elvis in this house. My 10-year-old was born in Memphis. Yes. Yeah, my 10-year-old was born in Memphis, and the reason he is named Thomas is after Danny Thomas, the founder of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Little trivia there. But yes, we love Elvis. Love Graceland. Just a nice edged trim. Just really finishes it off. Really makes it pop. Makes it look finished, makes it look clean, and makes it look, you know, gaudy, but like in a New Orleans way. Some feathers that want to get involved in this party, but not right now. All right. But yeah, a nice finished edge. You know, it takes time to do 2 coats of glitter on every single surface of the shoe and trim your edges and embellish and letter, but the time is what makes them so beautiful and so beloved. If you could just rush them, then they wouldn't be special. If you could just crank out a whole bunch of shoes without love and attention and patience and a little bit of misplaced perfectionism, they wouldn't be magical. And wouldn't that be a shame? People say to me, they're like, how can you give them away? Is it hard to give them away? And giving them away is the best part. That's the best feeling. That's like top 3 greatest feelings on earth. All right. So she's all trimmed out. Pretty girl. I am going to put a little gem right over the spot where I joined the trim to kind of cover it up so that you don't see the seam. I'm going to put something on the front of her. I don't know what yet. Like, not this color, obviously, but a little bow is pretty on the front, or a little piece of marabou. Do I have any? My marabou stash is low. I got to replenish it. It's always something. Last week I ran out of hot glue sticks, and that was like humiliating. I'm like, you have a craft store. You're not allowed to run out of glue sticks. I like to take a little bit of marabou and put that. That's pretty nice. I might do that. I might do that right now. Sometimes I hem and haw and work on the same shoe for literally years. And sometimes I'm like, let's go. Sometimes I'm ready to make a decision. And I think those times correlate with, you know, how long I've been in the craft room looking at it. Oh, I really like that though. Let me put it on there and I'll show y'all. So y'all know this is one of my favorite tricks of all time. When you're ready, when your glue stick is done, I have a little piece of feather like stuck on my hot glue gun, and that's the worst. When I'm at the end of my glue stick, I put a dot of glue on the new stick, and that way it catches. All right. Do I want to shorten that up a little bit? Smidge, just like a millimeter shorter. And, you know, I'm always hesitant to cut because you can cut it shorter, but you can't cut it longer. Okay. When I do marabou, I do one kind of hot glue curve in the front, kind of the curve of the shoe. And set it down. Hot glue, you kind of have to work little by little, which is hard because I don't like to be patient. Oh my goodness, we are well over an hour. How about that? It's so good. It goes so much smoother and it, not smoother, but it flows more freely when like I feel like I've got a little company. I'm a little disorganized, but it comes more naturally. With marabou, I would anchor one side and then the other. Oh, I love it. Yes. And there, she's just about finished. She needs her glittering. Am I bold? Do I feel like I'm ready to glitter? When I have some spots of marabou that I think are like hanging a little low, rather than snip them because I think that looks really obvious. So I've got some bits of marabou that I think are just, I don't like how low that's hanging. I don't know if y'all can see or if I sound like I'm a crazy person. I would kind of break them with my fingers rather than cut them because I think that cut edge looks super obvious, whereas it's a little bit more natural looking. And make sure my marabou's strong. Yes, it's anchored down nice. All right, gorgeous. Last thing is if I'm going to glitter this, I'm really tempting fate doing a live direct glitter on the shoe in the heat of the moment. But why not? Life is short. I'm going to unplug my glue gun so that I don't forget, because that's no bueno. Do I want to do purple or do I want to do gold? I've got purple here. Sometimes if I'm having trouble deciding on what color glittering I'm gonna do, I take a little pinch of it and like put it on there and see how I like it. I do like that. I think that's probably the move. I can't pick it up and show y'all because it'll fall off, but I think the purple's pretty good. All right, let's do it. Direct glittering, and then the shoe is done. We like done. Okay. Now, I mostly recommend making transfers, but I have written the word muses so many times that I can write it directly on the shoe. I've really literally written muses thousands of times. I'm so tempted to take this off just for my glittering, but I'm gonna behave. I would rather have the shoe be slightly imperfect than mess up my wrist. I'm gonna be good and be responsible. This would be another time when it would be great if I had my overhead. I'll get it set up. We're a work in progress. We're all a work in progress. All right. If you followed me for any amount of time, you know I get very quiet while I'm actually doing it because like I barely even breathe while I'm doing it. It's flipped obviously, but you can see how that looks. I'm a little bit tempted to ombre it. Why the hell not? All right. Y'all watch her while I find my gold glitter, maybe. Oh, come on. Oh, this is a bad choice because I don't know where it is. All right. I've got a bag of solid disc gold dancer. We're gonna roll with that. Though I do not have a cup, so I am making glitter shoes. Just some basic purple, green, and gold glitter shoes. I find that when I'm a little bit stuck and I'm trying to kind of get unstuck and get into the maker headspace, it helps me to just make some purple, green, and gold shoes and some king cake shoes. That to me is like, that gets me unstuck when I am stuck. All right, so I've been keeping clean but empty jars up here. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of my solid disc gold dancer, which is a nice yellow gold, and purple. I wonder if do I have the talent to do this? We're gonna find out. Talent is the wrong word, but all right. Gently, gently. All right. So we start there, and I leave this here. I don't clean this up. Not yet. Ooh. Okay. Oh, pretty, pretty. Okay. So you can see I put a little bit of gold on the top. I'm gonna add a little bit more gold just to make sure I don't have any bald spots. All right, a little bit of gold on the top. A little bit of purple on the bottom. And I'm just checking to make sure I got the dimensional paint has a lot of height to it, so I don't wanna miss anything. Purple on the top, or purple on the bottom, gold on the top. And then I have purple and gold here. Little ombre action. I love a little ombre. I think that's very pretty. I'm into that. I am into that. All right. And let me just make sure I don't have any bald spots. I think she's very pretty. And then I'm going to write 20, 25 on her. Do I want to... I might hold off on writing 2025 on her because I might put a little bit more. Thank you. I love a little ombre. I know it's reversed for y'all, so you guys just imagine it flipped. I know there's a way to flip it, but I don't know what it is. I think I'm going to wait and put 2025 on her later because I might, since this is I might write something here like Throw Me Something Sister or 25 Years of Muses, or I might put something there. I don't know yet, but I want to sleep on that. But I think I'm gonna just real quick, boop, put that into my special cup. I am gonna write 2025 down the heel so that it's just done. All right, come on. Feet, don't fail me now. And again, I really do stand by making transfers. Because you might smudge your paint like that. I'm gonna touch that up though. All right, that's 2025. So I smudged that a little bit and I don't love it. Oh boy, big purple glitter spot on my face. So I'm just gonna go rinse that off real quick in my sink. Bear with me. So if you do some direct glittering and you aren't psyched about it, you can just rinse it off, which is what I have done. I'm gonna let that dry and then I'm gonna try again later. So low pressure. But I love the Muses glittering, that looks great. All right, so what have we done? Let's recap. We have done a little bit of base glittering. I got some top coats on some purple, green, and gold girls. I finished her up. She's finished. Once she dries and I write 2025 on her, let me anchor that a smidge more. Once I write 2025 on her and decide if I'm going to do anything on this side, I might not. We'll see. You can't really go too far, so we'll see. Maybe I'll put a foot, I don't know. I'm going to play with her a little bit more later, but I'm happy with her for now. So we put some base coats on some purple, green, and gold, just basic shoes. Put a little bit of red on a red and black shoe and this modern art piece shoe. What else did we do? We trimmed her, we maraboued her. You know, we did not do a ton. Honestly, it was not, not the most productive hour I've ever had, but I got some stuff done. I feel good about it. And, you know, most importantly, I got in here and I started doing lives again. That's a big step for me. And I am going to keep on keeping on. I will be back. I'll do some more. Thank you for those of you who joined me during the live. And hopefully, my understanding is that I'm going to be able to archive this so that people can watch it whenever they want. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that works out. So if you are watching this later, if you're watching this not live, oh, hey, baby. Hey, mama. Come say hi, baby. Fanny, my little kitty cat, Fanny, just walked in. Come here. Meow, meow. Come here, honey. Oh. Did you just wake up from a nap? So if you are watching this later, then I say hello to you from the past, I guess. You would be watching this in the future, so I'm saying hi from the past. But thank you, all of you who joined me. Thank you, everybody. I hope you are having a great crafty evening now and always, and I will see you the next time I see you. I don't 100% know how to end one of these. Let's figure it out. I think this is it. All right. Good night, everyone.